Automation, AI, robotics. You hear these words thrown around all the time, right? A lot of people use them like they all mean the same thing. But here's the thing, they don't, not even close. And knowing the difference? Well, that's everything if you want to understand how our world, and especially our jobs, are about to change in a really big way.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to clear up all that confusion and define what these things actually are. Then, we'll zip over to Japan to see a real-life robot revolution in action. After that, we'll look at how jobs are being totally reshuffled around the globe and dive into the super tricky legal questions that come with it. We'll even see how this tech is showing up in our homes and militaries before we land on the biggest question of all, who's really calling the shots here?
All right, let's get right into it. Section 1. To really get a grip on where all this is headed, we've got to be on the same page about what we're even talking about.
So let's tackle the question that trips almost everyone up. What is the actual difference between automation, AI, and robotics? Seriously, getting this right is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about. So let's break it down nice and simple.
First up, automation. Think of automation as the perfect employee for a boring job. It's basically technology that's been told, do this one thing exactly like this over and over and over again. It follows the rules perfectly, but it doesn't think. It just does.
Next, we've got robotics. This is where we get physical. Robotics is all about building the actual machines, the arms, the wheels, the whole physical package. These are the bots designed to perform a series of actions to help us out, whether it's building a car or, vacuuming your floor.
And then there's AI, artificial intelligence. Now this is the real game changer. AI isn't about just following a pre-written set of rules. It's about trying to copy human thinking. It's designed to learn, to adapt, to solve problems it hasn't seen before. This is the brain that can make a robot more than just a simple machine.
So let's put it all together. Here's the most important takeaway. Automation is for doing this same thing over and over. AI is for when you need to think and react to new situations. One is a mindless tool that follows orders, the other is a tool that, it tries to think. Big difference.
Okay, enough with the definitions. Let's see how this all plays out in the real world. For that, we're heading to Japan, a country that's been living and breathing the robot revolution for a long, long time. Now check this out. There's this thing called robot density, and Japan's is through the roof. For every 100 human workers in Japan, there are more than 3 industrial robots working alongside them. That is a huge number. It's way, way above the global average. They're not just experimenting, they are all in.
But why? Why are they going so hard on robots? Well, it's not just because it's cool tech. It's about survival. Japan is facing this demographic perfect storm. Their population is shrinking and aging at the same time. That means fewer people to do jobs, especially tough ones, like taking care of the elderly. This worker shortage is already starting to hurt things like package delivery and even hospitals. For them, robots aren't a luxury, they're a necessity.
And Japan's story? It's kind of a sneak peek for the rest of the world. So let's zoom out now and look at this huge global shift that some are calling the Great Jobs Reshuffle. And it's not just about jobs disappearing, it's about the entire nature of work changing right under our feet.
So, have a look at the jobs that are expected to grow the fastest in the next few years. The pattern here is, it's pretty darn obvious, isn't it? It's all about AI, data, and sustainability. These aren't just random jobs. These are the new pillars of the global economy being built right now.
And here's the other side of that coin. The jobs on the decline, bank tellers, cashiers, data entry clerks, what do they all have in common? They are repetitive, rule-based jobs. The exact kind of work that, as we just learned, is perfect for automation. The reshuffle is absolutely real, and it is happening fast.
Okay, so this giant shift is kicking up some really, really tough questions. Like when a self-driving car crashes or a robot makes a mistake, who's at fault? We are in totally new territory here, and society is basically scrambling to write a new rulebook for a game we've never played before.
And this is not some abstract, futuristic problem. This is a real headline. Back in 2015, a robot killed a man. So who's responsible? The company that made the robot? The person who programmed it? The factory that used it? Our laws just weren't built for questions like that.
And you can see different places are trying to handle this in totally different ways. You've got the European Union out in front with its AI Act, trying to set clear, binding rules. They're even banning stuff like using AI to read your emotions at work. But then you have other countries, like India, that are still trying to make their old laws fit this new technology, which leaves a ton of gray area, especially when a robot can learn and change on its own. But you know, the impact here goes way beyond just our 9-to-5s. This technology, automation, robotics, and AI, is starting to show up in the most personal and, frankly, the most sensitive parts of our lives.
I mean, this graphic from the World Economic Forum says it all. It's not just one or two industries. It's touching everything. How we grow our food, how we get our power, how we ship packages, how we care for our sick. It's a total transformation.
And that includes the battlefield. Now, the argument for it seems pretty simple, right? Use robots for the most dangerous missions, like getting rid of bombs, and you save human lives. But, and this is a huge but, it opens up a massive ethical minefield. When an autonomous drone decides to pull the trigger, who exactly is responsible for that?
So, from the battlefield to your living room, take a look at this number, $20,000. Any guesses what that gets you? That is the price tag for the first humanoid robot assistant that's being sold directly to you, the consumer.
Yeah, the dream is something straight out of a sci-fi movie. A robot that can do chores, help with heavy lifting, and even have a conversation with you. But here's the catch. Right now, for a lot of the really tricky stuff, there's still a human somewhere with a remote control guiding it, which, yeah, that brings up a whole bunch of questions about privacy, doesn't it?
And that brings us to the final, and let's be honest, the most important question in all of this. As these unbelievably powerful systems get woven deeper and deeper into our lives, we have to stop and ask, who is actually in control?
A lot of experts and governments are getting behind this idea, this human in control principle. It sounds simple, right? The core of it is that no matter how smart a machine gets, there has to be a human somewhere in the loop with meaningful oversight. The goal is to make sure the tech stays a tool that we control and not, the other way around.
But that is so much easier said than done. And that leaves us with the one question that really matters. As this technology keeps getting faster and smarter, how do we make sure it's actually working for us, for humanity, without us slowly but surely giving up our own control? That's not a question for our kids to figure out. That's the challenge for us right now.